Hey friends, I want to demonstrate how I used Dixie Belle's Voodoo Gel Stain Charred Hickory on this bow front dresser. First off, I did sand the top down nice and smooth, got rid of all the old stain and got any scratches off of there. Then I took the Scarlet brush, which is a really nice brush to use for this because it has a firm bristle and just smooth, allows me to push that Voodoo Gel Stain into the grain. I'm taking the approach of doing a little section at a time, and I'll use a wet rag to wipe that off, and I'll demonstrate that in a minute. You'll see that I'm moving the misting bottle out of the way. I wound up not even using it. I had it there just in case I felt like the wood needed to be misted first, but it didn't need any of that. And I've used it before like that, but in this case, it did a great job without having to mist first. So here's me using the damp rag to wipe off any excess. And this is a great test to decide how much of the wood grain you want to show. In this case, the wood grain's really red, and I thought it didn't really work as well as I would hope with the Charred Hickory, but I really wanted the somewhat mocha look. So what you're going to see here after I get the first coat on there, I let it dry, did a light sand with a sanding pad, and then I came back and actually I'm going to do a second coat. But you be the judge on your project, depending on the stain you're using. Voodoo Gel Stain is water-based, so it dries quickly. You can be top coating before you know it. Just make sure the top is good and dry before you do that. With the rag, just make sure you're wiping off consistent amount all the way across so it looks consistent. And I think the two coats in a moment is going to turn out the best look because it's a little bit more consistent, and I got that warm tones that help complement the sandbar color that I used on the base. I typically like to stain the top after I get the bottom painted and top coated because I could easily wipe off any of that stain if it gets on the base cabinet. Here I'm just finishing up wiping off any excess, and I'll do that all the way around using a Dixie Belle 1-inch brush. It looks good. I just want a little bit more of that stain to show through and less of the original wood red tones. That's why I'm going to do a second coat. I'm using my wet rag to also wipe off anything underneath, and it looks pretty good. So again, you could stop here, but I'm going to do one more coat. In this situation, I felt like wiping it off really wasn't going to be necessary because one, I was wiping off too much stain, and I really do want more of the mocha color, the Charred Hickory, to show through. You still can see the wood grain because it is a water-based thinner coat, and I think that's a better look overall, and it complements the sandbar color really well. So that's the approach I took. You decide for your project what works best for you. This is still wet, so of course after it dries, I'm going to come back in with a satin top coat and make it look fantastic. Let me know what you think about the finished results.
That's the end of the show. Make sure you subscribe and ring the bell before you go. Bye.